Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Facebook Live. Just a reminder to everybody, this month is July, and we are interviewing lawyers that have a bunch of different backgrounds. With me today is none other than Mr. Roger Adams with RK Law. I've known Roger for quite a while through a variety. I met him through the Aurora Chamber, through some networking events, and a variety of other aspects like that. And Roger really knows his stuff. So we are in for a treat. Welcome, Roger.
Hey, good morning. How are you, BK?
Absolutely fantastic. Roger, tell us who you are, who you work for, and then you have to answer my very famous question is you have to tell us something not a lot of people know about you.
Great. Yeah. So, hi, I'm Roger Adams. I am an attorney in Colorado, and my practice is bankruptcy-based complex litigation. So I do a lot of stuff in bankruptcy. I help people fight generally over money. And I'm in courts ranging from federal district court to federal bankruptcy court to federal state court, to state court and other venues. And I run my own law practice. It's actually Adams Law, LLC. My URL is rka-law.com for my initials. And something not a lot of people know about me. At least in the business world, I cycle a lot, and I'm on a team that raises money for the homeless in Denver through the Samaritan House cycling group.
That is awesome. Well, let's dive in a little bit on this. So I think the first question I want to ask you is, do you think bankruptcy serves society today? Does it still have a place in our society?
Absolutely. And I've done quite a number of talks about bankruptcy, including through the Colorado education program called the Our Courts program. That's as in OUR, Our Courts. There's originally Federal District Judge Marcia Krieger, who was a bankruptcy judge, and Russell Carparelli, who was an appellate court judge, decided that they were getting asked to a lot of public forums like Kiwanis Club, like Knights of Columbus, like things like that. And they needed a specific kind of standard program on what they did and what lawyers and judges in Colorado do through the program, through the courts. And so up until last Wednesday, Judge Michael Romero was the chief judge of the bankruptcy court in the District of Colorado. And at one point, 15 years ago maybe, he asked a number of us lawyers to help provide and produce an Our Bankruptcy Courts program that is a standard presentation. So I've given that presentation a number of times. One of the things, in terms of your specific question of does bankruptcy benefit society, there's an article that I read, and I just pulled it again. It's from January 31st of 2013 from the Wall Street Journal. And as most feature articles do, this article led off with the moving boxes were in Emer O'Grady's bedroom waiting to be packed with the contents of a home she can no longer afford. The article is about how Wall Street should recognize, and our society in general should recognize, that America's bankruptcy laws are a model for the world. And this starts out with an anecdotal article about Emer O'Grady, who lives in Ireland. And in Ireland and in Spain, according to this article, there are not debt relief laws to give consumers a fresh start. And it stifles the economies. And this article talked about the European Union, which obviously is the European powerhouse economy, and how consumer bankruptcy in America should be exported to Ireland, to Spain, and there are a number of judges in Colorado who including Michael Romero, who's still a bankruptcy court judge. He just stepped down last Wednesday as his last day as the chief judge of the bankruptcy court. But they've helped export the bankruptcy system we have in Colorado, that is federal law, that gives societies around the world the benefits of a debt relief system for consumer residents of those societies. So I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that the bankruptcy system we have in Colorado, that's based on federal law throughout the United States, is a benefit to society as a whole.
So, Roger, what would you say then is one of the most surprising things you've learned as being a bankruptcy lawyer? I mean, obviously we've established that there is a benefit to it, there is a need for it in society. What's some of the surprising things you've learned?
Well, that was a surprising thing to me, that the world economies can be benefited from bankruptcy law. Other things were the astounding number of people who file for bankruptcy annually in Colorado. Most people who are probably listening to this program are not the ones who necessarily are going to file for bankruptcy, but a small portion of them. Anyway, on a busy year, let's take 2012, 2013, 2014, after the Great Recession, there were 30,000 people in Colorado alone who were seeking debt relief through the Colorado bankruptcy system. And that was astounding to me. I thought the numbers would be significantly lower. But that was a surprise to me, is the sheer numbers of people who go through bankruptcy process to get debt relief.
One of the questions that just popped up in chat is kind of along those lines as the numbers. Did COVID contribute to a lot of bankruptcy filings in the United States?
Counterintuitively, COVID did not contribute to the tsunami, was the word that was most often used, of what bankruptcy attorneys and what economists were thinking would happen. And the reasons that I think that there were not huge number jumps, in fact, there were number decreases. So I don't know, let's say in 2019, there might have been in Colorado just 15,000 bankruptcies filed. The economy was pretty good. Maybe 15,000 in 2020. And the numbers just didn't spike. There were so many relief efforts by the federal government. So many people got personal checks. You're out of work, or we think you might be out of work. You need some extra money. COVID has affected our whole economy. There was the payroll protection program that came out. There was a moratorium on evictions and foreclosures, which are two big trigger points for what causes people to say, oh my gosh, I've got to seek bankruptcy relief. I'm at my wit's end. I can't make my mortgage. I'm going to be evicted. I'm going to be foreclosed on. And a bankruptcy attorney can help in those instances because it's an automatic stop under Title 11, which is bankruptcy code. The person who files for bankruptcy gets immediate debt protection from their creditors. The mortgage creditor can't foreclose. The car creditor can't repossess the car. And these various government buyout efforts were very successful. And so it was another relief valve. We'll be debating whether or not those efforts were good long-term for a long time. But those efforts did stifle the needs, the immediate trigger points, such as eviction, such as foreclosure, that usually trigger people into a financial distress situation where they need a bankruptcy attorney.
So what would you say would be the first steps? If I think I need to file for bankruptcy, if I'm not able to keep my head above water, what should I do? What should I do to prepare, or what are some of the steps I can do to get ready for this?
Well, I like to say that more people should have friends or should consult bankruptcy attorneys more often, because it's really true. before you get to that before someone gets to that last stage, they should be consulting a bankruptcy attorney, because the consultations are free. It's like personal injury law. I do personal injury law as well. And it's one of those areas where bankruptcy does overlap a lot. And that's one of the reasons I got into it, is because there's a lot of overlap there, and as well as with probate law and so forth. But go and visit with your bankruptcy attorney. It's a free initial consultation for myself, for most others in the business, just like personal injury law. Most others are hourly based attorneys, and they will not give you that free consultation. And I do a lot of work that's not a free consultation. But go get that free consultation and have that bankruptcy attorney who knows how to do these things give you an assessment of, will bankruptcy assist you or will it not? And there's a big misunderstanding with people who say, well, I have an LLC, or I have a professional corporation or whatever, and it's going under, and maybe COVID caused it to go under, or caused it to have a lot of problems. But a lot of people think I'll just declare bankruptcy in my business, and it doesn't quite work that way. But just go and get a consultation with a bankruptcy attorney. If you have any thoughts about it, we have a process. Well, those of us who are good at it have a process by which we take an initial analysis. Then we ask for all your paperwork that includes stuff like, show me a mortgage statement, show me all the credit card statements that relate to any of your debts, show me your credit reports, all of those things. That then the bankruptcy attorney goes and knows how to go through that process to give you a real assessment.
That's awesome. And guys, I have, if you have any questions or you have want any information, head over. I've got the link on the screen right now, rka-law.com/blog. He's got a ton of information as far as, giving helpful advice and stuff like that. And Roger is one of the few lawyers that I actually trust to know what he's talking about and to do a good job. So if you guys have any questions about it, reach out to him, reach out to me. I can put you in contact with him. I think it would be absolutely fantastic for you. But Roger, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. I know it's been scrolling at the bottom of the screen this whole time, but if anybody wanted to get in contact with you, wanted to learn a little bit more or have a consultation with you about the personal injury or the estate planning, I know you do that, or bankruptcy, how can they get a hold of you? What's the best way to do that?
Well, the best way is to call our office and get on our schedule. I have a number of people who work with me. I call myself a small practice attorney as opposed to a solo practice attorney, because it's not just me. I have Sarah Barup is my paralegal who works with me right now. I've got two law clerks, both from the University of Denver, but I also have a third law clerk for the summer who's from the University of Colorado, and they are all helping me do research and help everybody. But just call, or you can send us an email. You can go to our website. You can contact us through that way.
Fantastic. Roger, thank you so much for your time and the information you provided. I know I learned a ton, so I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you, BK. I think you're doing a great service by just talking to people like this, and it shows your testament to your fantastic services that you offer through your company, as to who you're connected with, because you associate, I know, because we've known each other for a while, you associate with some of the best people around, and I've benefited from those connections, and I appreciate your time here to talk with me to take that further.
Absolutely. And to the rest of you, we actually have I was going to not do a live next week because I was going to be out of town, but I ended up meeting with a fantastic individual who focuses on wills and trusts and estate planning. So I'm squeezing him in next week. So next Thursday, we will have a Facebook Live. I'll get the details out on my Facebook page and stuff, but we're looking for the theme for August. I need to start planning who I'm going to interview in August and start getting them booked up. So if you have an idea for what I can do in August, please let me know. And as always, if you know anybody who's looking to purchase or refinance, send it my way. Interest rates are still really, really good. We don't charge any extra fees or any hidden cost. I'm very much like a lawyer. I put all my cards on the table and I got nothing to hide. So let me know if I can help you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, BK. Take care.
Take care.